All right. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Welcome. We're glad that you are with us. We are actually going to record this as a webinar, so welcome to our webinar guests as well. Just wanted to start out by introducing ourselves. I'm Kristen Kirsch, Director of Youth Initiatives with Special Olympics Wisconsin. And then we can just...
Amy Verheiden, Agency Manager for Oregon. I'm the Agency Manager for MIDI.
I'm Grace Rollins. I'm from Oklahoma High School.
I'm from Mount Horn.
I'm Olivia Jones, and I'm from Mount Horn as well.
I'm Grace Park. I'm the co-advisor of the Youth Activation Committee. I'm at University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
I'm David Thompson. I'm a student at Oregon High School.
Awesome. So you can see we have a wide variety of experts here, students, both with and without intellectual disabilities, agency managers, college students, and just a whole background of that. So if you have questions at any point, feel free to ask us. We all have different experiences and we'll be happy to share those with you. We'll also have time at the end for you to ask questions. Oh. Okay. Back in business. So a lot of you have seen our mission before, but it's to provide year-round sports training and athletic competition in a variety of Olympic-type sports for children and adults with ID, giving them continuing opportunities to develop physical fitness, demonstrate courage, experience joy, and participate in the sharing of gifts, skills, and friendship with their families, other Special Olympics athletes, and the community. So as you may know, that Special Olympics actually has struggled with that misconception that we are only a sports organization. We only offer summer games in Stevens Point, and that is our only thing we do. But we're so much more than that. And it's not just so much more than one sporting event, because we have 5 sports seasons, but we also offer different programming in education, health, community, and then of course our sports. So those are our 4 entry points at this point. Project UNIFY, which is our focus of today, actually naturally fits in the education part of that, but it really incorporates all parts of our mission. Can I just get a show of hands of who's all agency managers here? Coaches? Project UNIFY? Students? Athletes? Okay, so we do have a good variety of you guys in the audience as well. So if you are not currently in a school right now, I don't want you to check out for the rest of the session, because our schools really can be our allies in a lot of things we're doing, and Amy's going to share a little bit about that later on how they've really been able to enhance what they are doing in their community through Project UNIFY. So from here, we're going to, like I said, there's 4 entry points. So the first one is education.
They say that sticks and stones can break bones, but words never hurt. Not true. A single word can isolate and stigmatize. Students with intellectual disabilities are 2 to 3 times more likely to be bullied than their mainstream peers. This is unacceptable.
Students, they started playing with me and abusing me. I didn't understand why they were doing that. When the people start abusing you and you feel like you are what they are saying, it will take you down.
Special Olympics Project UNIFY is a program combining inclusive sports, youth leadership and education that teaches young people about intellectual disabilities and fosters positive attitudes of inclusion, respect and friendship. It brings together young people with and without intellectual disabilities. More than 2,000 schools in the United States have adopted Project UNIFY, and pilot schemes are underway in Austria, Romania, Serbia, Italy and India. Through Project UNIFY, we're giving students and teachers the tools and training to foster inclusive action and attitudes within their schools, social networks and communities. And it's working. So far, 78% of participating students say that Project UNIFY has been a positive turning point in their lives. 75% of school administrators report their students with intellectual disabilities are participating more in school activities. But much more needs to be done. We need to take Project UNIFY worldwide. We have a long road ahead, but we're already on the way. We can empower more people like Patrick.
People with intellectual disabilities, maybe we don't know many things, but we are good. We can do many good things.
Together, we are stronger. Join us.
All right, so the rest of the session, these are kind of our objectives of today. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're up against in schools still, introduction to what Project Unify is, our core components. Our students are going to take the lead on that and share about the core components of what they've been doing in their schools, the impact of Project Unify, how Project Unify can work for you, no matter what your position is in your community. And then, like I said, we'll have time for questions and answers at the end. So as you heard in that video, students with disabilities are 2 or 3 times more likely to be bullied than their peers. Also, only 10% of youth say they have a friend with an intellectual disability. There's been a lot of programs and laws and things that have been put out there to help the population, but it still is not solved. So Special Olympics Project Unify is an answer to that in our schools to help increase that acceptance and understanding and respect. Also helping with engagement in school, lessening the dropout rate, just creating that community within the school where everybody is accepted and working together. So even before Special Olympics Project Unify came about, like I said, we have had a lot of different programs that have been school oriented. And that Project Unify is just kind of embracing all of them. We're able to go from unsafe and unsupportive school climates and bullying to using our lessons and activities that promote understanding of differences, going from unmotivated and disengaged students to youth leadership and advocacy, absence of social inclusion to program designed and meant for all students, and going from obesity and other health-related problems to using Special Olympics Unified Sports to get people interacting and playing together in the playing field. So using those different things, we're able to create a culture of understanding and cohesion just in the school and then outside the school as well. So I'm going to let Grace take it from here and share the next few slides.
So the exact definition of Project Unify is an education-based project that uses sports and education programs to activate young people and engage educators to develop school communities where all youth are agents of change. And so it really fosters respect, dignity, and advocacy for people with intellectual disabilities. I mean, that's your straightforward cut definition, but there is so much more to it. And then throughout the presentation, we'll focus more on the education-based, the sports, young people engaged in education, and all the points that Kirsten was talking about earlier, and how the Youth Activation Committee has started doing that in different middle schools and high schools, how we're trying to really spread the word out there. So we're aiming to move from inclusion to unification, so not just having it be inclusion, having it be something that is unified. The school is one, and we all work together and we grow together, and going from the special education students to all students, not just specifically focused on students with intellectual disabilities, but going to this is an all-student thing, this is comfortable, this is something that will grow through high school with your freshman class all the way to your senior class, and just trying to really get that to be something that's comfortable and something that everybody is included in. And then from being adult-led, a lot of things are adult-led, a lot of things are teacher-led, are parent advocates, but it's really important to do the student-led just because we're all each other's peers. So this is who you're with every day. Everybody likes their peers. I mean, it's friendship. That's one of the biggest things in high school and middle schools is having those friendships. So having student-led kind of helps with that and makes everybody included and everybody part of the club or Project Unify. And then using sports opportunities as a catalyst. So as you talked about before, Kristen, just this isn't something new. We're using something that everybody knows and using sports as something with inclusion and helping that be a comfortable thing to start with and then moving towards Project Unify with that. And so, well, I forgot to mention that Project Unify has been a thing for 6 years now, and then we're moving on to our 7th year. And so we're really trying to grow. We've gotten a great youth activation committee together. People have gone through it. But our main thing is that we aren't starting from something new. We are using Special Olympics programs to try and use that, and so people are kind of familiar with it, and then with that moving on into making this Project Unify different schools. And so 3 main things are youth leadership and advocacy, inclusive sports, and whole school engagement. And then mixing all of those together creates the core components. And so having all of those 3 things together, working on each 3 individually, having them all come together, having all of these things focused leads to a Project Unify school. So the combination of all 3, if you have those in the schools, that creates the sweet spot of Project Unify. Having all 3 of these different sections, which we'll go into talk about how we've done that in different middle schools and high schools, how people have created that sweet spot. The Mount Howard has done a really good job with Project Unify in that sense. And so with that, going into them.
So a little bit on youth leadership and advocacy. This provides students with and without intellectual disabilities opportunities to take on a leadership role. And so some questions about that would be, how do you know when a student is leading? Any ideas? Throw it out there.
We have t-shirts.
Yeah.
Expressing your ideas.
Definitely, yeah. All good things. All right, well, we can move on to the next one. Why is it important to have students lead?
More student development, because they'll start talking to their peers and grassrooting it and just make it more effectively run as an adult life.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think students are going now that they're doing all hopefully it's something that they enjoy and continue to be the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a controlled bullying.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can switch the size later.
Some major points there. So yeah, those are all good things.
What are Fans Club and Club Unify? A unified club for individuals with and without intellectual disabilities to develop meaningful relationships, help spread acceptance, and help everyone feel accepted and welcome in their school. So some ways we do this is we do school-wide activities, we do more core group activities with our Club Unify, just to create that bond and that friendship.
So, activity versus sports. At Mount Horeb, we kind of do a cool thing where we have, as well as sports, we have activities to play to as many people's interests and needs and wants as possible. So, as we do that, we can still maintain an interest and we still get all the benefits that come with unified sports. So now we're kind of going to talk about the activities aspect of Unify.
So this is just kind of a short list of some of the activities we do at Mount Horeb, and one of the first things we do every year is at our freshmen come a day before all the other upperclassmen and sophomores to kind of get a feel for the school and join clubs. So we have an activities fair. So every year we set up a booth and we have wristbands, we have a poster they can sign to pledge respect. And it's just our way of getting the freshmen involved to hopefully join Club Unify and become the next leaders.
Another great thing we do is trick-or-treating, which is one of our club's favorite activities. We all dress up. This is the picture of us down here. We all dress up, and all the teachers, and we go to teachers' rooms, and there they have like a riddle for us to solve. Sometimes they have candy, they have cool prizes, and it's just a really awesome way to get everyone involved, and the teachers and the staff. So it's really kind of just a whole school-wide event that makes everyone really excited about Unify.
And our next thing is every fall we go pumpkin picking at a local corn-maze pumpkin patch that one of our leaders or advisors family runs. So this is more like the core leadership group of the people who do the most planning, and just kind of strengthens that bond, makes it easier for us to communicate and plan these events for everyone else.
A really fun one, I think, is salsa dancing. You know, and this is one of those things that some people in the club, that's why we do activities, because some people in the club don't love salsa dancing. I know for a fact some of the boys are like, I'm not doing this. So, but that's really an awesome one because we have good music, we have good food, and we're getting teachers involved, and it's just a really good energy that we have. So not necessarily everyone is getting up and dancing, but we're all having a really good time together.
And so our next one is the Xbox Connect. So at our meetings, we have an Xbox set up, and there's dancing on there, which I know Marta likes. Good dancer. And there's this jumping river game that they all like. And what's really great about this is no matter what the capability is, everyone can participate in it and feel like they're a part of the game.
A new activity we kind of introduced last year was May Day baskets. So on the 1st of May, it's kind of an old tradition, but you hang flower baskets on people's doors. So on the 31st, we went or 30th, I don't know what the month ends on, but we made flowers and baskets. We made the flowers out of tissue paper, and we went around and hung them on all the teachers' doors and colored a little sign that said, "Thanks, teachers, for all that you do." And it was a really great way to just, kind of give back because so many people give to UNIFY, and it's really kind of working together through all these activities that we do.
So like Olivia said, our teachers are really great about being a part of the club. So we have our AP chemistry students, and every year they put on a show for 4th graders. The last 2 years, we've actually been able to get them to set aside a certain time where Club UNIFY comes in and they do explosions, they light stuff on fire, which everyone really likes, light the floor on fire, it gets everyone jumping around. So.
Another great thing we did last year was in the holiday season, we decorated cookies, which was kind of a core group activity, but it was so fun because we had holiday music playing and we had games all around, and everyone was frosting their cookies and making them pretty, and we had our principals stop by, and it was just a really great way to kind of get together before the holidays and before everyone left for break and just kind of say, it's just awesome to be in this club with you guys.
And so this year, actually, as this is new for us, but we're going to tie-dye t-shirts we march in our homecoming parade just to kind of raise awareness. So this is just a way that we can show what we do in our club and just, again, strengthen the bonds. So I think we're good.
Oh, yeah. Well, Marta, would you like to talk about one of the activities that you like?
Yes.
Which one would you like to talk about?
The pumpkins.
Why do you like the pumpkin patch?
I like to pick out the pumpkins.
You like the big pumpkins. Marta was the one that you like to.
Falling around the box.
The cookies.
Why did you like the cookies?
I like to put frost on them.
Would you like to eat them too?
Yes.
Okay, well, in our club, we have a lot of reasons for our success, and that's a bunch of components that make up this. It's not just one thing. So one of the reasons would be adaptability. So we have games or activities like Xbox Connect, because everyone can do that. We have a student who is kind of, he has trouble walking, so he's on a walker a lot of the time. He's able to kind of dance from his walker with the Xbox Connect. So we have all these activities that are kind of conducive to everyone's need, which makes us really successful.
So another thing we do is we have more than one aspect to an event, which the main one that normally attracts people is the food. But we'll have multiple different activities going on. So like she said, we'll have the Xbox, we'll have cookie decorating, and all that stuff just kind of appeal to more people.
Another thing we've done, which is really awesome, is we've gotten our Viking sports teams involved. So we have one event at the end of the year. It's the end of the year relay race, and these past couple of years we've had the football team get involved, which is really awesome because it makes our athletes just feel great that everyone's coming and supporting them, because they have this whole football team of 6'3" crazy height males, just there and running around doing crazy things like the 3-legged race, which just is a great atmosphere and just so awesome that we have the support from all aspects of our school.
And then we do a ton of advertising. We do announcements. We've made a lot of videos in the past, and we just kind of spread the word. We'll hang up fun posters, post pictures on Facebook, and we actually do have a Facebook group that anyone's welcome to join. And we just do a lot of announcements on that, and just try to get as many people as we can.
So in short, we basically play to our school's strengths in order to have a successful club.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So with Youth Activation Committee, I'm part of this committee, thankfully, and with other great people as well. The YAC is a group of individuals, youth individuals, with intellectual disabilities and without. Our mission is to encourage, empower, motivate, and educate individuals to become agents of change in their communities, schools, and in the entire state. We work hard to advocate for people. We advocate for respect, inclusion, and give opportunities to people regardless of their abilities. The goal of our committee is to make Project UNIFY well known around the state, the whole state. Some of the things that we do. There's something called the Ultimate Fan Competition. A picture up here, that's a good picture of the Ultimate Fan Competition. And then we do presentations in the R-Word. And then we do hosting the youth summits. And then basically what best thing we do is we bring the best out of people.
We're looking for more people, so we have students. Send them our way.
So this year we did like our annual youth summit. So what we do is we kind of have leadership things, just give more information about how they can start it up at their school, and then we also have really fun activities that we show them so they can get more students in their school involved and get them to participate in these.
Myrna, what did you like about the Youth Summit this year?
I like to play soccer and the games and the jumping pity.
You had a big bouncy house, that was really fun. But yeah, basically it's just a really awesome way for different schools to meet and things to come together about awareness and UNIFY, which is great.
So Unified Sports is students of all abilities playing together and creating strong, lasting friendships. Sports are fun. They make it easy to get to know each other. So do you have any, other ideas as to why Unified Sports is a good idea and like how it helps? Yeah, Jake?
Well, other reasons to do unified sports helps your peers interact with Special Olympics athletes. Helps with communication skills.
Definitely does. Right, yeah, those are all good points. I mean, it increases communication within people. If anyone's playing sports, you gotta communicate a lot.
So there are multiple models that might be used to help ensure that both athletes and partners have positive experience and meaningful involvement. So the model in your school is going to depend on two different things. One is the ability and the interest of your athletes in the school, and two is the access to facilities, coaches, and transportation in your school.
So the foundation of unified sports. So all teammates have the proper sports skills and understand team concepts, contribute to the team with their unique personal strengths, play without significant health or safety risks. They are teammates, not coaches, playing according to the rules, and are committed to practice and competition. So all these just kind of play into making sure everyone is having a really great time and having the best experience they can.
So we do a few different things at Mount Horeb in the sports aspect as well as activities, but so kind of one of our biggest and most favorite events is the end of the year relay race. So that happens in about May or the beginning of June. And it's kind of a great closing to the year, and what it is, it's a bunch of different, it's a relay race basically. So we have the three-legged race, we have, I think people stand with their boxes to the back, the egg run, all different crazy kind of things, which is really fun because so many people of different abilities can get involved and really do what they like.
And so then we also do training with athletes for competition. So pretty much Olivia did this. You sign up for one of your study halls a couple times a week, and you go down to the track and you help train, which Marta actually got helped to train then too. So it's just a really great way to know that they're being supported by their classmates and get the practice in.
Unified relay at hometown games was kind of a new thing that we did last year. We sent a few of our students. Here's Marta, there's Erin and Ross and Lexi, and they went and ran. They practiced together a lot, and they did great. They had a really fun time, so that was awesome.
So the next thing we do, the last couple of years we've been biking in our homecoming parade. So we have like these little, I guess you can see the bikes, and we have a cart bike thing. So it's really great because everyone with all capabilities are able to partake in it, no matter like if they don't want to walk long, they can sit in the bike and help get pedaled. But it's just raising awareness, and I mean we get to make fun signs and just get to distribute. This year we're going to pass out information during the parade and just raise our awareness.
Another thing we did is we had bowling practice to prepare for a bowling tournament, which was a huge success. A few days a week, we would get together after school and go to one of our local bowling alleys, and it was just crazy to see, like, what people's bowling. Some of these kids, they just came out and were bowling strikes left and right. So that was a really awesome time that we just kind of bonded and got ready for the big bowling tournament.
And so in November end of October, we went to 10 Pins Bowling in Pittsburgh. And we just got a huge group, as you can see in that picture, and we just went and supported each other, and it was really great to see like the athletes and the participants interacting with each other and just creating. I mean, some of these people had never been to Club UNIFY events, so it was great to see them come out with us and just have fun.
And also with that event, we had a bunch of different schools there. I think we had West, we had East, and so we met a lot of people too, which was really cool.
So they talked a lot about what can be done at the middle schools and high schools, and if you are interested in learning more about unified sports, as you know, there's a session after this that is fully dedicated to that, so you can learn more about what we're doing here in Wisconsin and how they differentiate and what might be the best model for you to kind of start your school. But we start with inclusive sports as young as 2 years old, and that's with our Young Athletes program. So you can see here a few of the pictures here. I know we have some Young Athlete coordinators in the room. Both Christy Brandhagen from Stevens Point runs a great program out of her YMCA, and then also one of our MPS schools at Forest Home. We have Trisha Anderson, who's a bio teacher there. So if you have questions specifically of how they're doing Young Athletes and their sites, you can definitely ask them. Do either of you want to share anything?
I just know it's amazing. We had as little as 3 participants, and it's gone up to, I think we have 23 or 24, and the reoccurring typical children we get and what they're learning as well. But now there's play dates going on with some of the children with ID, with the typical band. It's just really cool to see in NRY. They're swimming together, they're doing swim lessons, gymnastics together, all these other things that have just stemmed from this, and even the parent connections. And it's neat to see the parents of the children with disabilities feeling super accepted of their children in this, and it's starting out so young. And the 2 and 3-year-olds, they're oblivious that they're their friends, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so we work on those foundational sports skills, that social inclusion and social skills, cognitive development and growth as well. You can see it's a great activity too for middle school and high school students to volunteer at. So that's another way to get them out in the community here as well. And then another component that falls under unified sports is Camp Schreiber. We have one in La Crosse that's been in existence pretty much since Project Unified started. What that is a day camp for students with and without intellectual disabilities, once again, to come together. They do enrichment activities as well as sports throughout the day, and then they also go out into the community and learn what kind of recreational activities are out there that they can do inclusively and not have to worry about any boundaries or barriers. There we go. to participate in those activities. So it's really great there. And then also here in Madison, I know that they just started Camp Inspire this past summer. It was a growth out of Project Unify. And then Nina is also looking at doing modeling. They just did a pilot this spring with a few students and looking to grow there. And then the other one is Greendale. So they're starting to kind of pop up a little bit. It's a summer opportunity for that unified sports. All right, I think after this we are talking about school-wide engagement, so I'm going to turn it over to David and Amy.
Okay, so I just want to ask you something. Okay, so what in a school? What are the benefits of educating everyone? Get a free T-shirt.
So they can get along better
Mhm.
and included.
Yep.
They just gain a better awareness and knowledge of what's happening in the school and with the Project Unify.
Mhm.
Prevents bullying and allows students to hang out because they're being bullied and support them.
Mhm.
I was gonna say the same thing about bullying, and so much at school talk about the ability, the kids getting picked on, and about different kids that doing it. We talk so much about that in our schools.
Happens too
This
much.
is an excellent program to kind of reinforce the knowledge about bullying.
Okay, so in the school, it takes way more than just one or two people to make a difference. The way to have really strong connection is in the school-wide engagement is by everyone working together as a team, and that's the way you can make a huge difference.
I think the one of the benefits as an agency manager that I really see in this program, and having a child that went through high school, David helped launch the Project Unify in our school, so I kind of saw the before and the after, and it was just amazing. I mean, it went from walking down the hall and kind of being afraid of being bullied and being called names to all of a sudden he has the valedictorian of his graduating class talking about what a difference David made in his life. And so it creates this incredible unity between the students, and they go from segregation to inclusion, and that's just an amazing thing to watch, and we really did see the transformation in Oregon. And at the agency level, this program has been awesome because I run the Oregon agency, and we do activities together. So the Project Unify comes into our practices. You know, we have pizza parties. We do activities that really get the kids from the high school interacting even out in the community. So it's almost a really nice transitional program. You know, that not only has the kids without intellectual disabilities looking at the kids in school with them as just one of the guys or one of the girls, but it teaches them to get out into the community and interact with those who have disabilities as well. And pretty soon it becomes the norm instead of the exception. So it's a pretty amazing program.
Okay, the polar plunge. The polar plunge is basically a thing where you jump in cold, freezing cold water, but for a great reason. What people do is they donate money to Special Wisconsin, and I know for myself, it's just a shock down the spine. But let me tell you, it's for a great thing, and if you are looking to make a difference in your school, what you can do is you can get a group of people together and you can register for do the polar plunge, and it's a great thing because you don't only show off show your school, but you show your community and.
And from an agency standpoint too, this is amazing because if you can work with the Project Unified program in your school, they get a team together, 25% of everything that is raised actually comes directly to your agency. So I think we made off of ours this last year, it was $2,000. I mean, that's a lot in the bank for an agency, so.
Okay, fans in the stands. Every state competition, we go around in the stands and we look for someone that stands out. Okay, and when I'm talking about standing out, I'm talking standing up, cheering loud, and with posters, everything. And that's and so we do that at every competition, but here's the thing about fans in the stands is being an athlete like myself, when you look over the sideline, you see people, cheering you on, that not only makes a difference to you, but I know for myself, that gets me excited. That makes me, especially in basketball, that makes me want to win the game, just have people, come out and so, but the other thing is, the school is, if you're looking for, for another reason that you can, if you're looking for, connection is, you can get a group of kids to go and cheer on not only your athletes in your school, but other athletes around. It's a great thing. It really is. So.
Well, again, I think, we've talked a lot about the inclusion and no singling out and all that kind of stuff, but I think this program, when you do this fans in the stand kind of thing, it's creating a culture, it's not just creating an event participation, and you're finding that kids without disabilities are going to, Special Olympic events, and Special Olympians are going to varsity basketball games, and they're having fun and they're not afraid of who's there, because they feel like they're really just one of the guys or one of the girls, and so it's a really nice model.
The Our Work campaign. This is a campaign that I'm very familiar with. It means a lot to me. I've spoken at multiple elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. I've even talked in front of Wisconsin representatives about respect. And like I said before, it's something that I believe in strongly, and that one of my main things is to change the R word and turn it into respect. I see a huge difference, in my school, because first of all, everybody knows, before if no one stands out and says, hey, stop. In my opinion, for me, it takes a lot to stand up and say, hey, knock it off, because you don't know what people are going to say about you. You don't know about that. So anyways, this is one thing that really hurts me inside, that is absolutely disturbing. 13 million people last year were bullied either on the streets, in schools, through cell phones, and then every 7 minutes, someone is bullied, and that just, whenever I hear that, that makes me want to stand up and make a difference. So.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that this helps teach too, is that, you've got, kids like David who are standing up for his friends that may or may not have a disability, but they're getting bullied or teased about something, and vice versa. Kids without disabilities that are standing up for the kids who do, and they're saying to the kids who don't pay any attention to these speeches, and they walk around, still making fun of people. They've got somebody that's covering their back, even if they're not right there to do it for themselves, or they can't do it for themselves. And so it really, I think the people who do that kind of stuff, they're doing it for attention. So if they're not getting the attention, and they've got somebody saying, you know what, knock it off, it's not appropriate, it's not right, they're not going to do it. So.
All right, so I just want to give an example of an elementary school that did a really great job. I'm going to fly through some slides. She did a really good PowerPoint, and I wanted to know how to cut it back. So they're all in here, but I just want to give you a glimpse of how an elementary school was able to use the Our Work campaign and promote inclusion at their school. So they're a brand new Project UNIFY school. Actually, agency manager there, Christine Hardy, out of Oshkosh at Oakland Elementary. She was kind of the spearhead of this. So they call it their best field day ever. As a lot of schools do a field day, they decided to put the R word theme on it and got all the students t-shirts They really focus on helping one another and working as a team through all their water activities. And they engaged their PTO as well, so they supplemented Project UNIFY funds with PTO funds to have bounce house and make it really as fun as they can for the kids. They used a wash out the R word theme, so you can see they all got pretty soaked through that activity. Taking the pledge is a classic way to do the R word campaign. Getting the banner, signing it. You can also do online pledges. And then just through it, they're able to unify the whole school. I mean, all those kids to be crazy. So that I think is really successful for them. And now that was how they kicked off Project Unify last spring. And now they're poised to start this fall with the activity. So once again, another resource for you, Christine Hardy. If you want to do something similar, she has some good tools and stuff and ideas for you to that. And I also mentioned we are working on getting this stuff out for the new campaign. This year we're going to have some cool items that will be revealed in October, anti-bullying month. So get into it is another way that you can have reach out to this whole school. It's a service learning curriculum, but it also has some other resources. One of them is an app, so I'm going to show you that right now. We get to choose our character. Let's choose our one. We'll go through on the questions. This is the Trail to Perseverance. So there's fun interactive activities for some of the kids as well to teach the ideas of Project Unify and Special Olympics. So if we play, we have to spin. They walk some. You just got a bonus question. It says, think of a time when you saw someone being teased. Did you try to do anything about it? Yes or no? Who says yes? No? Some of each? Well, you only can pick one answer right now. I'm going to pick no because I like what they tell us. I was going to say no. It says, oh, there's the little dopamine. Here's one way to handle the situation. Tell the person who is doing the teasing, there is no room for that in our classroom here. All right, let's spin again. We'll do one more question. Have you encouraged a friend to join a game you're playing? Jake says yes. Great job. So it just reinforces those ideas. It's a fun way, especially for littler kids, to get engaged if you're one of those schools that happens to have like iPads and technology for all your students. There's other apps on there, and the Get Into It active. The simplified version is another good resource. This is the whole curriculum. That one I don't see it used as often. It's pretty in-depth, so if you need to meet any standards, the other ones are great ways to get the same points across. The Movies That Move is our next slide. So that one is about, it's using video clips, short video clips from popular shows and movies with questions afterwards to discuss. So as you can see here, why are words from a friend so powerful? And that would be the discussion for your class or your group of students. So once again, another way to engage them in discussion on positive things. So just kind of bringing it full circle. It starts with a little smaller group of people that may be doing the sports side of things, and then you have a little bit larger group that's part of your club and your unified activities like Mahor talked about. And then trying to get that whole school involved through Get Into It, the artwork campaign, fans in the stands, and eventually you're going to have kind of the whole community creator awareness of that. So you can do that through assemblies and pep rallies, getting an athlete like David to come speak. He's known for giving some great speeches, as well as some of the other athletes, and Jake as well, and others. So. And just another visual. People learn different ways, like to see things different ways. But it started with that key group and kind of growing from there until you have affected the whole community, companies, government, policies, everything. But it starts with one individual, a group of individuals, and it can expand from there. And we have different tools and programs to kind of grow from. So real quick, the impact that we have seen so far. Believe it or not, the success rate of Project Unify has been in the 90% or higher every year. Schools returning to Project Unify. Liaisons have reported that they have seen it as valuable to their school and changing the school climate. 2/3 of liaisons observe that it helps raise awareness about students with ID, and also 63% have indicated that it increases opportunities for students with and without ID to work together cohesively. 82% that said that Project UNIFY was successful at their school. 74% of participating students said that Project UNIFY was a positive turning point in their lives. 76% of students felt they became more patient, and 78% said they learned to compromise. 65% of students felt they learned they have things in common with their peers with intellectual disabilities. Would you guys say that's true? Learned some commonalities. And then 95% of students said that their school should do Project UNIFY again next year. So I think that speaks to the enjoyment of it, and just learning those life skills. I think when they realize that and they that positive turning point in their lives, that's something you never want to turn back on. So it's been really successful. Last year we were in 30 schools. This year we're already up to 40. We're aiming for 50. Across the nation, their goal is around 2,500 schools. So it's just growing rapidly, and it's even gone global now, as you saw in that video. There's some pilot sites around the globe. So. I'm going to let Amy take this slide again and share a little bit.
So, I mean, I think bringing it all full circle, probably a perfect example is how many times you walk through the mall and you see the parent with the little kid that wants to approach somebody in a wheelchair or somebody who has a disability, they look different, and the parent chews them away because they don't know enough about it. This is a perfect example of how even the kids can change the parents, you know, so it's just kind of this universal inclusion, you know, for everybody, I think, and it can change even up to the parents' attitudes. From Project UNIFY, we see a number of benefits at the agency level. We get new volunteers because you get these students and even a lot of times teachers that want to be involved, and so they end up being our coaches and our fans in the stand, of course, and our assistant coaches and people that just come and help with events and sporting events and social events, which are just as important, if not more important. You know, new teammates, because you've got, that's exactly how David started. You know, he had somebody who was in the special ed program with him who said, you know, come and do basketball with us, and walked in and saw a whole new world that he had never dreamt of. And new fundraisers, you know, I think the more people that you have involved, the more ideas you have, the more people you have to help with fundraisers, and it just, it allows an opportunity at the agency level, obviously, to raise your money without having to do all the work yourself. New advocates, I mean, I think that's kind of a no-brainer after all our conversations, that, you know, it just creates a different atmosphere and promotes inclusion. And new friends, obviously, you know, that I told you already about the valedictorian that talked about David, and that's just one example of the friends that he acquired from educating his peers, you know, as to how hurtful words made him feel, and how they really just want to be part of everybody else. And I think these Project UNIFY kids can all speak to that, you know, they're finding friendships they never thought they'd have, and they're probably some of the strongest bonds that they've got with friends, and they're ones they're going to remember. You know, 20 years from now, they're not going to remember Joe Black that walked down the hall. I mean, I have people from my class that I don't remember, but it's the, you know, it's the kids who really value the friendships that people look back on and remember. So, you know, again, it's inclusivity for the entire community, from, you know, little kids on to parents and caregivers and whoever, you know, interacts with the students or athletes.
So also there is funding to do this. So whether you are a school or you're trying to connect with a school, we do have funding up to about $1,000 per school to kind of get started. But then, like they had said, through the Polar Plunge and other things, that eventually we're able to raise some of those funds to do that as well. And then also, if you want to have some kind of meet or invitational and unified sports recreation, there's another chunk of money for events like that. So. We're running short a little bit on time here, but just like Amy said, it's not just episodic. It's a spectrum of things. We're starting with 2-year-olds and young athletes going through the school program. SO College is a university program similar to Project UNIFY into community-based unified sports volunteer leadership opportunities. So Special Olympics is for everyone for their whole lifetime. We do have a video that I would love to show, but I want to ask if there's any questions. I'll flip these slides quick. Is there any questions? Any questions at this point? Yeah.
So we can talk about Project UNIFY sports and competition. We can do other schools.
Yep, it would be against other schools. So like we have the entire Badger Conference and all of Madison school districts. So within those we're trying to create some clusters where they would be able to compete against each other. And actually Don will probably talk a lot more about that in the next session in sports.
Okay, so obviously, we have that in the school, but we've got team leaders club and things like that. And then with our agency, is there anything that's coming or out there that we can do something like this, or agencies that aren't in a school?
The best way I can say that is to partner with your school. I think
Yeah.
that's Amy's.
I mean, I have a really good relationship with the person who leads the Project UNIFY at the high school, and we're talking and trying to come up with ways that we can get everybody involved in the Special Olympics agency themselves. So, like I said, they came out to one of our bocce and softball practices and had a pizza party and practiced with everybody one night, and then we have the unified sports games at different Special Olympics activities.
Well, thank you for joining us today. And if you have any further questions, feel free to reach me by email or phone. And with that, I hope you enjoy this next video clip.
It was senior year and the whole school was cheering for her. And just seeing the smile on her face, people were crying and people were cheering. Seeing how the whole school came together just for her was the most amazing thing ever.
Special Olympics is acceptance.
Joy.
Respect.
It made me feel better about myself, being around thousands of people just cheering me on, and it was a fun experience, trust me.
Special Olympics is about life and being accepted by everybody.
Special Olympics is health.
Education.
Sports. It's made me who I am today. It's made me more outgoing. It's made me just more of a genuine person.
When I got involved with Special Olympics, it kind of brought me out of my shell.
And it's not about disabilities, but it's about celebrating their abilities.
When I was in 4th grade, my teacher told me she would never answer my questions because I had too many, and I was too dumb to understand the answers anyways. After joining Special Olympics, I know that's not the case. I am just as smart as anyone else.
It has helped me a lot to be fearless, in the real world.
Special Olympics is community.
Special Olympics is friendship.
My friends I've made through Special Olympics are the best people I've ever met in my life.
It had gave me a chance to meet new people from different states.
And you just gain an entire family of new friends.
Special Olympics is dignity.
Justice.
Empowerment.
I truly realize that what I'm doing is for a great cause.
I could spend all my time just working with Special Olympics, and I would love every second of it.
It makes you feel like a wonderful person, and your life changes forever.
I've made a difference. Now it's your turn to make a difference.
We are champions together.
Making a difference every day.